Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the eISL powered by Coca-Cola with Hero as our associate sponsor, Northern Gaming as our esports partner, PlayStation as our platform partner, and Terra Virtua as our digital collectibles partner. Now, I'm CA, joined by Azim on the desk, and we're in for an exciting matchup, Azim. Before that, of course, let's run our viewers through the tournament form.
Yes, of course. This is the league stage. It's all getting very, very tight. 2 games per match, of course, 2 1v1s and 1 co-op, and of course, finals to be played across the 14th, 19th, and the 20th of March. Top 4 teams are still battling it out for those remaining 3 places, and of course, the road to FGS. The 2 winning team members battle it out on the 21st to represent India in FGS 2022.
Yeah, the 2 winning team members, as you said, they're gonna have to backstab each other and try to find the prize right there, but you've got plenty more prizes for them to play for. Of course, getting into the playoffs gets you a chunk of this large amount of change that we have in terms of the prize pool, but also getting those key individual goals in your matches can help you get a chance at that MVP prize, which currently it does look like the SC East Bengal players are kind of dominating out of our top 4 goal scorers. Oh, we had number 4 as Shanthan so far, but Saransh and Naveen after their matchup recently have taken over, but the only untouchable factor is Ankit Gupta.
Yeah, of course, but very, very close right now. Chennai and FC still not guaranteed that top 4 spot, but they'll be definitely looking to add to their tally a lot in their next game, which is up against Northeast United FC. But for now, of course, our attention has to shift to this top 4 battle. Let's have a look at the leaderboard to tell you what is at stake. It is Mumbai City FC up against FC Goa. Now, FC Goa have pretty much no margin for error left. They have to get that win today. A win will guarantee either of these teams at that top 4 berth. 35 is the magic number, but a draw just opens things up even further, and Bengaluru FC will be looking to capitalize. So, who do we have playing each other today?
We've got Ashwin versus V Sharma in the first match. That's going to be really interesting because usually we see V Sharma playing the second match, and for that second match, Tikka going up against Afnan. Like you said, a lot on the line with this set.
Yeah, and Ashwin and Tikka both in absolutely inspired form at the moment. Tikka, particularly in that last game, he just absolutely demolished the opposition. Scored, I think, what it was a 7-0 or 8-0 victory for him the last time out. It was absolutely crazy, and we can have a look at what happened the last time Mumbai City FC and FC Goa met. And it was the win for FC Goa that day, getting the result it went down to game 3 to get that draw, and they'll be hoping for 3 points today to just put this entire thing to bed. Of course, their last game is against ATK MB, who have beaten them the last time that they played them. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating. Either way, both teams want to get that win and just guarantee their progress into the top 4.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all about getting that win nice and early so that these teams are then able to rely on themselves, really, to secure that top 4 spot. I think for both of them right now, there are 32 points on the leaderboard, and their only contention currently lies with Bengaluru FC, who is with a few more games in hand than them. So Bengaluru FC, the maximum points they can achieve is if they get all 3 wins in their matches, which is 34. So if either of these teams get the win today, reach that 35-point mark, then they've secured their spot inherently. And for Goa, it's that much more important than for Mumbai, because Mumbai have 4 matches in hand. As long as Mumbai even get 3 draws in their next 4 matches, they secure that top 4 slot. So Goa, with just a couple left, they're going to look to find the win right here and make it happen, because otherwise they're going to have Bengaluru bleeding down their necks.
Yeah, and of course, another key factor is the goal difference, that Bengaluru FC plus 24, FC Goa minus 6. So it's pretty much like having a point deficit on Bengaluru FC right now. So they will desperately want to get this job done today and get their 3 points, and then shift their focus into those playoff spots. But yeah, it's still quite feasible that any of those second, third, and fourth place teams could actually drop out if Bengaluru FC go on an inspired run of form.
Oh, most definitely. And it could easily mean that one of these teams end up feeling heartbreak at the end of the day, because if you remember throughout the eISL so far, both Mumbai City FC and FC Goa have been very consistent in that top 4. So in this final stretch, they wouldn't want to stumble.
Yeah, and of course, very closely matched Ashwin and V Sharma across this tournament. Of course, V Sharma having more goals scored, but Ashwin, the player, definitely in the better form in recent days and weeks. He's a guy who's really adapted to the new title update that we were talking about so much over the last month or so, and it's really favored his play style. But yeah, it's going to be a nervy game for both teams. They will both want to be avoiding that draw for sure. Because, well, I think Mumbai City FC wouldn't mind a draw, but for FC Goa, it doesn't really do much for them. They need to get all 3 points. And that's what they're going to be looking to do today as we kick off. It is, of course, FC Goa in their white jersey going up against Mumbai City FC, who are in all black. And here we go.
All black for the side of Mumbai City FC, quite reminiscent, of course, of their primary investor in itself. But I think, of course, again, highlighting the narrative that we're looking for in this matchup is FC Goa on the brink of losing that top four spot. They are the ones with fewer games left in hand, so they are the ones who can now look to start off strong and already almost doing that with Pele running down the wing.
Yeah, that was looked like the cutback was on over there, but I think just delayed maybe half a second too much in getting that pass away and allowed Ashwin to get in. So early warning signs for Ashwin as well. V Sharma showing that he's looking pretty sharp in his attack, and now Ashwin trying to get that ball in behind, but easily dealt with. And will be interesting to see what the approach is for these two teams. V Sharma has always preferred to go with his narrow diamond formation, the 4-1-2-1-2, and at the moment it does look like the players are sort of settling into that. It does look like the Mbappe has been given the instruction to drift into those wide areas just to give him a little bit of width in attack, and it's working out quite well over here with Neymar. Of course, on that 5-star left foot, he can shoot left and right. Of course, he couldn't get a shot away with either foot in that moment, and Ashwin can pick that ball up.
Yeah, so far both of the players playing very much standard in their style, very much comfortable in their approach, though we will start to see some micro adaptations as they understand each other's tendencies and look to exploit the holes that are available in their gameplay. Right now, though, I think slightly favored towards Ashwin's side because of the simple fact that we've seen from him in recent history. As you said, he's adapted very well to the recent changes, but he seems to have gotten a lot more composed and confident in his gameplay, very methodical in his approach, and that usually gives him a huge advantage as compared to V Sharma, who for them results recently have not necessarily gone super comfortably. They have been feeling pressure in a few matches. They were able to secure a crucial victory against Northeast United, and if they're able to replicate that form once again, then it will help them out. Doing just that in defense right here, Visharma able to shut down Ashwin's attack and set up the counter for himself. He's found himself in a swath of space.
Yeah, lots of space over there. Now needs the ball played through to Eusebio, but a little too much on that, and Casillas able to come in and sweep up. And do notice that Visharma has had a pause queued pretty much since minute one. Not quite sure what he wanted to change because seems to be doing pretty okay. He's got, of course, Kante and Hullet in midfield. So going with a more conservative, more defense-minded approach, whereas Ashwin going with KDB and Hullet allowing to have sort of one more dedicated playmaker as opposed to V Sharma having two more defensive-minded players over there. The ball fired in this time towards Eusebio and given away. Very tight, very cagey start to the match. Very unlike the first game we've seen today between Odisha FC and of course it was Chennai FC who took that early lead with Naveen, got the 5-goal smashing against Shubham. But man, we had no idea what we were in for in game 2 and 3. But now in game 1, it's V Sharma trying to get that lead. Can't quite seem to get those isolations in the box that he's looking for. But being patient on the ball, just trying to work it around. Ashwin relatively happy for him to have it in these areas. Also because Ashwin knows that V Sharma is not the kind of player who really goes for long range shots or crosses. So he can afford to just let V Sharma do his thing, knowing that he's never going to take those long shots on.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially knowing that little bit of preparation, basically, that comes into play is especially since we know that these players do play each other to a large extent in their bubble itself. So they do know what you can expect from the other player, and therefore it sets up a bit of a psychological war where either player is trying to just change up a teensy bit, throw his opponent off guard, and that change can either win you the match or cost you the match, because it can mean you might not necessarily be playing on your strongest foot, or it could mean that your opponent caught off guard is not playing on his strongest foot. So we'll have to see which player is able to find the groove really with the micro adaptation in this matchup, because I think for both of them, finding that initial goal again, it's going to be oh so crucial. And it certainly looks like V Sharma has found himself in space to do exactly that. Ashwin just leaving him a gap, believing in Casillas.
Yeah, well, I don't think he had a choice. He had to believe in Casillas over there. But now, Hullet getting into the box. Eusebio at the edge. Now with Pele. Marquinhos, not really the player you want to be building the play. And he does lay it off now to Pele. Managing to get a yard on Mbappe. This is very well worked from V Sharma. Almost managing to thread that ball through. But again, I think just one pass too many over there for V Sharma. Trying to be very aggressive with the press, trying to get Ashwin under pressure, but a little too aggressive that time. Now it's Mbappe. Will we see Ashwin cross? We have seen him adapt to the game, and he himself has said that you have to keep adapting and changing your play style. A player who literally never crossed the ball before for the first sort of 7 or 8 games. This time gets in, and this time it's Van der Sar who has to pull it out of the top corner. It's a corner to Mumbai City.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it really does come down to those adaptations. It really comes down to which player is able to, at first itself, pull off that teensy little bit of change to surprise his opponent and get himself into the box. In our earlier matchup today, we saw Tuchel doing exactly that to find the win. So we'll have to see if either of these teams can draw inspiration from there, because right now Ashwin is making some beautiful moves happen. Quick flurry of short passes within the box itself. He plays around with V Sharma's defense and gets the ball into the back of the net. That consistency of Ashwin continuing on through as Mumbai City FC take the lead.
Oh yeah, surgical precision over there from Ashwin, just waiting and waiting and waiting for those right moments to come, and then just sliding those perfect passes in. And good lead for Mumbai City FC rather, getting that goal just at the 40-minute mark. Not a lot of time for V Sharma to react, and V Sharma generally for most of this first half has been the player who's been threatening more, has created a couple of more opportunities than Ashwin, but it has been very tight, it has been very cagey. Clearly two very, very well matched players over here, players who know how the other tends to approach the game, tends to think. And well, for now it's Ashwin who's winning that battle of wits, shall we say. And V Sharma doesn't quite have an answer. Maybe we will see V Sharma now getting those fullbacks involved in his play, but he doesn't want to allow Ashwin that shot. You could see the chop back over there. Ashwin was tempted to go for the long range finish, but there you go. It is half time. V Sharma now, in consultation with his teammate, needs to sort of rethink his strategy just a little bit, because it's not quite working for him.
Yeah, exactly. So far, not so great for FC Goa, but such has been the tale for most of Ashwin's opponents recently. This, as you perfectly said it, precise goals, surgical precision really. Ashwin just able to maneuver those tiny spaces in the box to such perfection that it puts you, if you're his opponent, into a helpless state. Be like, I can't control this matchup. This guy is just a puppeteer playing with his dolls and able to execute time and time again for his team to get to victory. And we've talked about this so much with respect to the fact that finding that vein of form going into the playoffs, it can help your team so damn much in terms of momentum to try and secure yourselves in the finals, even get a chance at fighting for that FGS spot.
Oh, absolutely. And this is that's what it's all about right now. This is the battle for the top four. For those of you, of course, who are just joining us, FC Goa or Mumbai City FC, whoever wins this game basically is guaranteed that top four spot and a spot in the finals. But if it's a draw, still, we have no idea. It's only SC East Bengal right now who have confirmed their spot in the top four, and of course confirmed themselves that guaranteed prize money, whichever it may be, depending on where they finally end up finishing. But there we go. It's Eusebio, now Neymar, Kante over there as well. Now with Hullet. And taking his time here, V Sharma needs to find that perfect pass. He was snatching at chances early on, and this time, oh my goodness, the block of dreams there from Marquinhos, defying all logic and physics to just throw in a foot at an absurd angle and get that shot away. And V Sharma, I'm sure, will be annoyed about that, because it looked like he had worked the move perfectly.
Oh, absolutely. And it will come down to making sure that he's not affected in his gameplay in these frustrating moments, because Ashwin will certainly look for the counter punch, the sucker punch really, with his move coming up. But Ashwin, of course, composed as ever, is going to control the ball. Look to slowly build up a play. Look for those 100% guaranteed chances rather than those risky 60 or 70% chances where he might be able to push it through, but doesn't want that. He wants to make sure that whenever he is making the move, whenever he is risking giving the ball away, he has a very high chance of securing at least a corner, if not a goal in itself.
Yeah, and it's opened up for him completely, and then the composure from Ashwin over there. It almost looked like time stood still there for a moment. I'm not sure if V Sharma thought that was offside, or I don't know what happened, but it just looked like he had an absolute edge to find that opening and gets the shot. And Mumbai City FC now in a commanding position, but don't let that fool you. We saw it all change in game 2 last time out. In fact, we saw game 2 change in just the last 10 minutes, and there's still plenty of time for V Sharma to adapt over here. And you can see over there, maybe expecting that Ashwin would go for the pass, but then Ashwin showing the composure over there, and you can see Tikka celebrates as well. Really looking forward to watching Tikka going up against Afnan also. That's going to be a pretty good game. But for the moment, this is our focus. It's Ashwin who's getting the business done. He has the 2-goal lead. And for FC Goa, it's still in their hands. Of course, they can still guarantee themselves that top 4 spot by just winning their next game against ATKMB, one of the few teams, incidentally, who has managed to beat FC Goa. So it's not going to be plain sailing either way, and definitely not going to be plain sailing if you keep giving the ball away like that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It is going to mean that either of those teams, they need to find some level of consistency, I guess, in the second match at this point, because yes, it's only 2-0 down, and we do know V Sharma is capable of pulling it back, but it's only because of the form that Ashwin has been in recently that I feel like it's nigh impossible against Ashwin. Look at that composure, even in that small situation with Gullit. Just deftly gets the ball out of the way, looking for Ronaldo, gets intercepted, but immediately his defense is compact, ready to hold it down. But a small gap found, Cancelo running down the wing will have the opportunity to pass it over to Pele, but instead pulls it back, and it will be Kante trying to set something up.
Yeah, and you can see the fullbacks getting involved now. So it's the 4-1-2-1-2 with the fullbacks involved. So lots of players in attack for V Sharma, and gets fortunate with the deflection over there. Will fall to Kante. Now finds Pele. This is a good opportunity. Needs to pull that trigger earlier because there were 3 defenders pretty much in the way over there. Maybe at that point a pass might have been a better option, and now you see Ashwin has plenty of options, picks Mbappe out on that left flank. Will he manage to keep it in? Yes, he does, and it does look like maybe now V Sharma looking for a little change in personnel, and also the addition of a constant pressure instruction, because Ashwin looks like he's setting up to just see this game out.
Most definitely. Ashwin in full command of the way this game is most likely to go. A pause call for V Sharma, but Ashwin has the ball and is very unlikely to give it away at this point, to even allow him to get that pause. Cool, composed, and clinical is the name of the game, and Ashwin, a bit of a Kastakar striking right there. The key pressure applied by V Sharma gets him back the ball. He's going to look to be quick with his attack right here. Even if he doesn't score the goal, he's going to want that pause to come through ASAP.
Yeah, and I think this has been one of the sort of problems for V Sharma this season, because he only really likes to play one way, where he wants to just focus on that narrow formation and build through the middle. But he has experimented. We've seen him go 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2 as well, and he's just not felt comfortable in attack. And Ashwin, we do know, very cerebral player. He's really one of those guys who, not more than, I mean, of course he does outplay his opponents, but he tends to first outthink his opponents in terms of how he approaches the game. And definitely V Sharma has had no answers to Ashwin's defensive setup, particularly today.
Yep. And at this point, we're going to see those changes come on through. A couple for both of the teams. Ronaldinho on for Mbappe for Mumbai City FC, while Messi comes on for Pele on the other side for FC Goa now. Composed, getting into the box. Mbappe going for Pele instead of Messi running down his back, but the ball recovered. De Bruyne has it in a key position. Mbappe looking for the turn. He's not found it just yet, but he will find it now. And slammed into the back of the net. A key goal recovered right after those substitutions. Even though Mbappe wasn't the player coming through, we've seen many a times in real life too how the substitution can help affect the flow of the gameplay. And now that he's found a goal, it will most definitely be slight pressure on Ashwin. 10 minutes to go on the clock. V Sharma trying to push at least for a draw.
Yeah, definitely needs at least that draw. And well, now it's a big moment because how does Ashwin react to this? He was trying to see it out earlier, gave the ball away, and then conceded the chance. And well, he's done that again over here. Great through ball played, very good pick out. It's Cancelo up against Hakimi, and now this is where the decision making matters. Can he find the right pass? He can't. He's gonna get a corner still, but needs to be that little bit more decisive in the final third. Does V Sharma? This time goes for out to Cancelo. Will he put a cross in? No, he finds Eusebio at the edge of the area. Again, never going to take that long shot on. He just wants to play those quick passing moves. That it's working so far for Eusebio. Now with Mbappe and the low-driven shot, and V Sharma has managed to make the comeback against all odds. It is 2-2.
Yeah, Kylian Mbappe helping out V Sharma as well with some nifty footwork. V Sharma is the one though who made it happen, and in just a matter of minutes, Azim, a 1-2 punch effectively as he pulls back the 2-goal lead that Ashwin has maintained for most of the match. We talked about this. We talked about V Sharma most definitely being capable, but we were relying on Ashwin's consistency to deny it. But V Sharma produces two key moments of beauty, and is able to now get it equalized with a few minutes left on the clock. I think Ashwin trying to control the ball so that he gets that 90th minute chance on V Sharma.
Yeah, I mean, even Ashwin will be aware of the fact that, well, they can't really afford, well, they can afford to lose matches because of the amount of games that they have in hand. But in terms of their chances for that absolute top spot, they really need to win as many as they can. Now, with Messi comes V Sharma. Will he look for the pass to the fullback? He does. He finds Hakimi. Lots of big pressure being applied, but gets the ball back. Messi is onside. And could this be the unlikeliest of winners? It is not going to be a winner. V Sharma does very, very well to claw that back. I think a big performance from him to get that draw. And well played, says Tikka. But V Sharma not happy with himself. He will be pretty disappointed that he didn't get the win. But considering the circumstances, I think he'll take that draw.
Yeah, GGWP for both of these players. Ashwin with those initial goals, V Sharma with a prolific comeback, and puts us in a very interesting situation where we usually saw Afnan getting draws like these and then leaving it to V Sharma to try and find the win, or at least a draw to then take them into the co-op, where FC Goa used to look phenomenal. But recently it's been the other way around. Afnan has been in a great run of form, and therefore I can understand why he seems to be playing that second match today, and he's going to be put into a position that V Sharma was in a lot in the early stages of the eISL. Now going to have to find the win against Tikka, a player who absolutely demolished his opponent in the last matchup he was in. And Tikka will be looking to do exactly that, find that same vein of form. I'm sure he even had the same breakfast to try and make it happen.
Yeah, definitely needs to get the result for his team. But Afnan, he's the guy who's going to be really under the cosh, but a guy who's grown to enjoy the pressure. We've seen him win a couple of pressure matches in the past, and over here, of course, this was V Sharma holding his nerve over there, working the shooting opportunity. First time for Mbappe, and then just about 3 or 4 minutes later, and there you can see Afnan's just coming in and saying, pause, I have things to say. And well, whatever he said, clearly working. You can see the patience from V Sharma over there with a couple of those quick cancels to just fool Ashwin, and there again you can see him saying pause. I think that's his job, and look at how close that is. The exact same 2.3 xg and possession 51-49 as well. No real pointers, and I think the draw definitely the fairest result.
Yeah, just slightly more shots for FC Goa, which came through mostly towards the end of the matchup. The pressure was picked up by V Sharma as he pushed it back through, but it's actually exactly that person that we've got ready for us for a quick chat. So let's head on over to V Sharma and see what he's got to say. Congratulations on getting the draw. For a second it looked like it might not happen there, V Sharma, but I want to ask you, how was it going through with that 2-0 lead and you're not able to find the chances? How crucial were those substitutions?
It was really crucial. I was not able to break down his defense, and I was actually getting irritated in the end. But I paused my game. I, made my substitutions, and it somehow worked.
Yeah, so again, I think you persisted with the narrow formation, and I think that's where Ashwin was just focusing, concentrating all his defenders in the middle of the pitch. Even when you got your fullbacks up, it wasn't quite happening. But then the last 10 minutes, something quick, like really clicked for you. So what worked?
I was not actually doing the quick passing thing I do with 4-1-2-1-2. So I thought let's try that in the last 10 minutes because I need to get 2 goals. So yeah, that's what I did.
And for you guys, these 3 points can mean your top spot is secure. 35 is the mark you really want to reach. So, how is that going pressure wise? Like every day when you come into these matchups, is that 35 number just coming in your dreams and nightmares all the time?
Of course it is, but I'm actually very disappointed in my game because I wanted to get a win for my team because these 3 points are actually very crucial for us. But let's see. I hope Afnan clutches it.
Yeah, and of course, you guys have been watching Tikka last time outscoring those 7-8 goals. So how's Afnan approaching this one?
He's pretty confident. He himself told me that he wants to play Tikka, so I'm looking forward to that matchup.
Yeah, well, we are looking forward to it as well. So all the best. We can't wait for kickoff, and we'll chat with you soon.
Sure, thank you.
Boy, oh boy. I think you can see the expectations he carries really within himself to try and make something happen. But a draw itself is going to be huge for Afnan, who is looking at a loss going into the second game. With V Sharma now pulling off the draw, Afnan, if he's able to secure the win, 1 point itself, which is guaranteed for whoever wins this individual matchup coming up, will go a long, long way. But on the other hand, like we heard, I think for FC Goa, a win here is the only desirable result, and I like that mentality.
Yeah, of course, they have to. I mean, that's really the situation they're in. They only have 2 games left. They have Bengaluru FC, who have, well, after this game, Bengaluru FC will still have to play 3 games, whereas FC Goa will have played, will just have the one left to go. So it's crucial for them to get this win. You don't want to leave it to chance on the absolute last day of the season. And because we've seen the kind of results that have happened, ATKMB have got the win against FC Goa. They got sent a cake after that. They've managed to get themselves to double figures as well. So they've had a pretty decent second half of the season, you would have to say, comparative to the first half, at least for them. But yeah, Afnan against Tikka, man, I am really, really looking forward to that. Both at the start of the season were fairly low profile players, shall we say, not involved in a lot of high scoring matches. Generally, it was like 1-alls or 1-nils or 0-nils or maybe the occasional 2-all. And you can see over there, very closely matched with their skill ratings, very young players. These are the future of India's FIFA industry, shall we say, or FIFA community. These are the guys who are going to represent India at all the big tournaments going forth. And there you can see, relatively well matched. Afnan, of course, I think the numbers are a bit skewed after that 7-goal smashing. Without that, the numbers would be relatively similar. But Tikka's really found form.
Yeah, and I think for both of these players as well as teams, it has really been about evolving and growing throughout the eISL. We've seen Afnan individually, especially, he's grown a lot. He was a very reserved individual coming into the eISL. Since then, he's become a lot more confident in his ability and a lot more vocal in his matches in general. We see him giving advice to V Sharma, we see him taking control, and we see him carrying heavier expectations within himself. So I think that's a journey he can be proud of. But same can be said for Tikka. Came into the eISL as a relatively unknown figure, but since then has stamped his authority, taking down many a giant along the way. And it's these two young players that represent the future, really, of FIFA esports in India. And I think seeing them up against each other, it's going to be an absolute spectacle to witness.
Yeah, lots of young players. In fact, V Sharma himself also just still 18 years of age. FC Goa, of course, I believe the youngest unit in the eISL. And there we go, we're ready. The nerves are going to be tingling for both sets of players, particularly, I would imagine, for FC Goa, because their margin for error is so little. And Afnan would love to just get that win, get that guaranteed 1 point on the board. Because even that 1 point will just put that little additional pressure on Bengaluru FC as they go into their game, which follows immediately after this.
Yeah, exactly. A single point, I think, will put, like you said, will really put a lot more control into the hands of FC Goa. But I think a win here is what Afnan individually will persevere for. But already, Tikka being so damn quick on his attacks. We saw this in his last matchup where he was just absolutely ruthless. And even then, Ashwin and Tikka were saying, well, I think there was a few more chances he could convert. And that really tells you how good a run of form Tikka is finding himself in right now. So it is going to be an arduous task for Afnan to try and maintain against that pressure. But if he's able to find the first goal, that will help him and he'll go a long way.
Well, I do expect Afnan to bring out the big guns as well. I expect to see a few long range shots from him. He's very good inside that box as well. And both these two players, I think, very instinctive finishers. Once they get in that box, they're very capable of beating that defender 1v1 and getting the shot away. And Tikka more so. I mean, probably the most instinctive finisher in the eISL. You just
Yeah.
give him a chance and he will put it away. He's an absolute assassin when it comes to that. And well, speaking of chances, you have a chance to get your animated team mascot worth $19.99 for absolutely free. Just head over to terravirtual.io/ISL and well, get yourselves one of those nifty ones. Of course, I believe CA has got himself a Chennai FC.
Yep. I was born brought up there, so well, natural, But I think in the eISL especially, it has felt like as those neutral observers, as those casters, we've got a chance to connect with every single player from every single team, and I love that. Like building 22 new relationships for, of course, between the players and then between us and the players, it feels like a new family brought through with this eISL season.
Definitely, but there's going to be some family arguments happening over here between Tikka and Afnan about who wants that win more. Of course, it is quite plausible that both these teams will make it through to the finals, even if, regardless of what happens in this game, it's all really down to what kind of run of form Bengaluru FC can put in for their remaining 3 games. They are up against Hyderabad FC, and well, it's not an easy run of fixtures for them for sure. I do believe they still have to play Mumbai as well. So that's going to be a very interesting match. And there we see now Afnan with the Marseille. Oh my goodness, no way. Rainbow kick. And almost managed to pull it off.
Yeah, almost though is the key word. It will not mean a goal still found just yet. But Afnan, he's getting real close. He's piling the pressure on Tikka right now. And I think that's exactly what he's going to persevere to keep doing with the rest of this matchup. But Tikka, he's not a beast that you can easily take down. These players, they may be young, but they're most certainly titans in their own regard with the way they've evolved themselves throughout the eISL and with the way they found the run of form going into this latter stage of the league matches itself. Right now, though, it is Tikka creating that play, looking for that opportunity, looking for Pele right here. The turn is crucial, and he finds exactly that. A shot comes in, but straight at Donnarumma will mean no dice just yet. We continue on 0-0.
I think Afnan did just about enough there to put him off the first shot and really make him think and really faint 2 or 3 times. And that, I think, just gave him enough time to unsettle the player and not get that perfect shot away. And of course, Donnarumma was covering that near post, so was never really likely to creep in. But yeah, it's been very nervy, very cagey. Again, a very evenly matched first half. Although by this time Ashwin had pretty much taken command of the game against B. Sharma and really forced that comeback. But now Afnan getting in, he's had a couple of half-decent opportunities as well, trying to turn away. It's so difficult to beat these defenders 1v1, and again you can see maybe one turn too many, turning into trouble over there and turning, almost giving the ball up immediately in a very bad position for Tikka, who look now. Well, not often that you see Pele dispossessing Ruud Gullit, but hey, this is FIFA where everything is possible. And now I got the feeling he would go for the long-range shot over there. He decided not to, because Pele has been known to get those to go into the top corner. But now, big chance for Tikka on the counter-attack. Can he make this stick?
That is the question. And right now, it doesn't seem like the counter-attack itself will get him any key opportunities, but instead he's trying to build up slowly, and has been the mark of both of these players. In fact, most of the players in the top 4, they're quite methodical in their approach, but Tikka, amongst all of them, way more instinctive, and it's going to come down to those quick bursts, the trigger being switched on, the flip really turning in the opposite direction as he goes from the slightly slower, more methodical approach. One quick pass though will change that entire tempo, find him into the box. But right now, the key defense from Afnan covering every single hole. You can see those two center defensive midfielders, the Gullit Kante combination, making sure that there are no holes. And when Tikka is forced to play slower, we've seen this plenty of times. He just isn't able to find the same chances. He's a player that likes the game to be chaotic. He's a player that likes the game to be fast. So the slower Afnan plays this out, I think the bigger advantage he has.
Yeah, absolutely. He wants to be, as you said, he wants to be playing those lightning quick counterattacks where there's really just one quick option to be made. There's only one route to goal, and then somehow Tikka will absolutely manage to find it. And now needs to put this ball into the box before the whistle. The ball does go in. Now with Mbappe, opportunity to shoot, and a really key interception there from Bellingham. And it does end 0-0. It is still dead level between these two teams. And well, as has been the case with most FC Goa games, this does look like at the moment it will all be decided in Game 3.
Yeah, exactly. And at the moment, I think what is especially important is going into the co-op, we have to remember first game was a draw. If this ends up going 0-0, if this is as well a draw, the co-op becomes so intense. But I will say FC Goa's co-op has not looked as ruthless as they looked, say, in the first half of the eISL, where almost every single win that they had was secured in the co-op. So I'm curious to see if they've used these last few days, this last week really, to clean up that co-op aspect of theirs, bring it back to the strength that it once used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure we'll get to see that in just a little while. But there's 45 minutes of individual action still to go. And you can see that actually, I don't know if it's been a concerted thing from Tikka, where he's not really allowed Afnan to get the ball to his right flank and find Messi, because we've seen, like, I think 3 of Afnan's last 4 goals have been long range shots with Messi. So he's really got that long range shooting technique absolutely down. And we've not seen him use that. Maybe he's saving that for like a big moment in the game where it's backs to the wall, and that's like almost a high percentage shot for him. Trying to get the ball into Pele over there, and now Hullet will have to hustle back on defense, which is largely set now. But yeah, he's not. Afnan is not playing the narrow formation that V Sharma prefers. He's still got Messi and Mbappe holding the width on both sides, and now fired in, but well, uncharacteristically missing all the players and lands up with the keeper.
And at this point, I think, like we keep talking about Azim, that one moment, that one opportunity, whichever player is able to find, it's not just about the opportunity, it's about the composure in that opportunity. We saw that composure for Ashwin in the earlier game. We saw it in terms of, as V Sharma mentioned, that he was able to get his quick passes back and therefore find his natural style and inherently the composure in it. So for these players, it is going to come down to, I guess, just that, finding that natural style, finding those quick passes and making it happen. But so far, neither player able to do exactly that. Ambitious pass, I'd say, but one that got very close to getting into the box by Kante.
Yeah, I don't think that was the pass he was going for actually, because Messi was in absolute acres of space on the right flank, and I think he was just trying to feed a through ball in and just got his angles all wrong. And you could see over there from his surprise as well, saying, why did it make that pass? I mean, we've all been there playing the game saying, no, I didn't make that pass, when actually we did. We just don't want to admit it. But hey, that's how life and video games work sometimes. Now it's stick out. 60 minutes on the clock. Is it time now for him to ratchet up through the gears and find something special? It's been very civil, I would say, between the two players. No chaos to note. It seems like a very calm and composed affair, especially compared to what was happening in game 2 of the last match at approximately this time. So still, I think both players have a couple of gears that they can go up through, and I just feel they'll only find those gears if there is a goal scored by either team.
100%. And for either team, it does come down to making sure they find that opportunity and the clinical nature that comes with it. R7 in the box. Sorry, I think, yeah, that was R7 in the box. For a second, I thought might have been able to beat Donnarumma, but the long extended arms of Donnarumma just denies that opportunity, and now 70 minutes into the goal, I'm biting my nails. I'm sure the viewers are as well, but these players, you can see they are hella focused. straight looking at the matches where Afnan unhappy with that exchange right there. Gives the ball away.
And he gets it straight back. But you should notice that every time, as Afnan gives the ball away, but every time that ball lands up at Messi, literally Tikka just starts throwing defenders at him because he's like, okay, you know what, I know what Afnan's gonna do. And Afnan has been waiting. Just he's kept it like almost cash. He's just like, oh no, my Messi is just here for moral support. He's not here to take shots or anything. And then just tries to casually slip the ball to Messi in that little pocket outside the box on the right flank. And now, with Pele, with Ronaldo, trying to create the opportunity, he's burst into the box this time. Will he hold on to it? Yes, he does. Does well to keep Marquinhos off it, and now will need to just head away. This time beats his man. With Hullet trying to fire that into Mbappe, but a little too ambitious. He'd still get the ball back though.
14 minutes left on the clock, Kazim. You can see in terms of the play style, the stats clearly showing that these players very, very similar. But right now, it is Afnan creating the chances with Messi turning the players around. But Cancelo gets a nifty leg in, recovers the ball for Tikka, who's now got himself set on the counter. Has Mbappe running down the right wing, but that's a pass too long. Instead, looks to set up his namesake, but the ball blocked again. It will mean FC Goa look to build up their chance, and just back to back, but the tempo is picking up to a slight bit.
Yeah, because of course now the rewards, the risk to reward ratio increases dramatically because a little bit of risk can lead to huge rewards in these last 10 minutes, and of course no substitutions made by either player. I don't even think there's been a break in play for substitutions to be made. It's just both players trying to keep it exactly the same. Neither player wants to blink first. I think they're happy to play out a 0-0 draw if that's how it's going to be. But this time it's Tikka who's got Messi in there. Will he fire that ball in? Can't quite get the space, and then Hakimi sees it out. So well defended again by Afnan. He'll be looking to get Messi in. Turns into trouble over there and gets himself just about out of trouble. Not out of the woods yet. And he'll be looking to switch that to the other flank. And he does.
Just looking to switch it up. Again, it's just very cagey, very dicey affair. 2-2 was the first match. It looks like 0-0 is going to be the case right here, but Afnan has the ball. It's very close to that 90th minute mark, and we've seen a lot of teams pull off a miraculous goal almost at that 90th minute mark. So Afnan might have the opportunity to do the same as long as he's able to control the ball till that mark, and he's brought it there. 90th minute, 1 minute left on the overtime. Now's the time to flip that switch, start the attack, but he gives it away, and a chance for Tikka instead.
Yeah, Tikka now has to make this count. Will he get the time? I don't think so. Afnan just puts the ball out of play, and there you go. He's not happy with himself, but again, I think we were expecting this, a pretty cagey match, sort of both players reverting to form in terms of staying defensively solid, not taking too many risks on attack. And I think V Sharma will say, you know what, it's okay, it's fine. We're still in it. We still have the opportunity to get all 3 points from this game. I think obviously for them, 3 points is way more consequential than just the one, because it doesn't change. If they get 1 point, it does not change their demand from the last game, which means they still have to go and win that game, irrespective of getting a draw over here. So they'll still be on the quest for the 3 points. They're still in it. 2-2 it was the first game between Ashwin and V Sharma. V Sharma pulling out a comeback from 2 goals down, and no major chances really, you could say, created by either player. I don't recall keepers making any major saves, but it was 0-0 between Tikka and Afnan.
Exactly, 0-0 is how it turns out, as it's a draw in this series as well. 2-2, 0-0 so far though. We've still got one more crucial matchup, the co-op, to try and make something happen. By taking a look at the highlights, which I'm sure production was not so happy about. Not many goals or clear-cut opportunities, though there were a few, and one of these especially, I think Tikka had the bigger chance, but it did end up meaning the Afnan's defense was ever so composed, and it's like you mentioned, Azim, it felt like the players had come back to their comfort, where of course they were defensively extremely strong, but like I was saying, Tikka's slightly more on the EXG, but none of the players coming close to that 1 EXG mark. So the 0-0 I think deserved for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, Afnan will be, I think the stat that will bother him is, of course, 0 shots. He did try to get away a couple of shots here and there, but they were always blocked, or the shot too late, or the pass intercepted. So, again, very, very cagey affair, you would have to say. And of course, when you're watching pretty much third versus fourth, third versus fourth as it is, that's pretty much what you would expect to see. And that's really what we've seen. But now, game three is where FC Goa's matches tend to get the most exciting. But also exciting is, of course, for all our viewers, Terra Virtua, which is, of course, an entertainment based metaverse platform where you can check out all sorts of stuff related particularly to the Hero ISL, trading cards, animated team mascots, all that kind of fun stuff. So check it out.
An opportunity to get yourself closer to your favorite Hero ISL moments, that's not one you want to miss. We're talking about opportunities that people don't want to miss. Right now, both of these teams with an opportunity to secure their spot in the top four going into this co-op game. 3 points in the bag for either team will make them mathematically secure in that top four. So it's everything on the line with this co-op game, Azim.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think both the teams should now go for broke because, as I said, for FC Goa, a draw or a win actually doesn't make that much of a difference. They still have to go and get that win against ATKMB, even if they do draw. And similarly, for Mumbai City FC, it's pretty much the same. But I do think we do have a shout out video for FC Goa as well.
Afnan and Vansaj, the Gaus never give up. Let's fight till the end for the top spot.
Oh, Glenn Martin's there, of course, one of my favorite defensive midfielders from India. All action midfielder, always runs all over the pitch. And all action is what we're expecting from game 3 here.
Yeah, an engine really in the way he is able to do it. But I think that engine that he's going to have to try and get that momentum into the FC Goa team because like we were talking about, the co-op hasn't looked as great as it was before. It's not that they're playing badly necessarily, it's just when you look back to the initial stages of the eISL, the coordination, the synchronization we saw between the FC Goa players, it's not at peak level is what I would say right now, but they've had a week, Azim, to try and bring it back, so now we get to see if that's actually happening.
Yeah, and also I think it is a case of a lot of the teams having watched and analyzed them would have figured out how to play against them, what kind of exploits they have, what kind of weaknesses they have, and again, as we've mentioned, Ashwin, a very cerebral player, the thinking man's FIFA player, shall we say, always has some kind of master plan hatching somewhere. And you can see Mumbai City FC very chilled, very calm. They know that they still have 3 more games after this to secure those 3 points. Of course, they would love to finish on top ahead of SC's Bengal and, get themselves potentially a better draw. As it stands, who knows, they might be looking at playing FC Goa again in the semi-finals. It's all going to be decided. Not from this game, but we're going to take a step closer to knowing who's going to be in that top 4 once the 90 minutes whistle is blown.
I mean, if one of the teams is able to pick it up, then we'll have 3 teams almost secured in that top 4. Of course, 2 teams, with SC's Bengal and the team that does end up winning it today. Still very much up for grabs for the other 2, with Chennai and FC just 1 point away, 1 match left for them. So right now, focus though on Mumbai City FC and FC Goa as Mumbai City FC. I assume that was Ashwin going for the long range shot, with Gullit himself just found the balance but was not able to find it back.
I think a nice one to just sort of take them by surprise early.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of mind games to try and get them to press a little bit more so they can find those balls in behind. So maybe just like giving them an early jump scare to say, you know what, you got to come and press my midfielders a lot, otherwise I'm going to take those shots. And if, of course, you do press particularly Hullet or one of the central midfielders too high, it leaves a lot of gaps in for that number 10 player and of course the centre forward to exploit. So maybe some shrewd tactics being applied over there. But for FC Goa, lovely turn away from Kante to find Mbappe. Will we see a finesse shot of their own over here? This time it's V. Sharma, who I believe is the the red cursor with Afnan as the blue. We will find out in just a bit. Will the shot be taken over here? They go for the cutback. I thought a shot would have been a better option there.
Yeah, same. I think a little bit of hesitation right there for FC Goa. could have got the rebound even on the shot, or maybe even a corner and try to set it up accordingly. Especially in these co-op games, I feel like the corners are somewhat undervalued because of the fact that you can control. It's like a manual run done automatically, but instead, Mumbai City FC, they give the ball away. A key tackle from FC Goa as they're now running back. A cutback could be key here, but they instead fake it, almost lose it. They've got it back though, still not able to find a way into the box.
Again, fortunate to still have the ball with them, FC Goa right now. This time, Ronaldo over there trying to get the shot away. Again, the hesitation in getting that shot off, and again the ball handed straight back to FC Goa. Mumbai City FC living really dangerously here. They've given FC Goa 2 or 3 big chances, and of course the Gors have not been able to capitalize on it just yet. Now trying those little elasticos, using that Brazilian flair, and wins another corner.
Yeah, a crucial one too, because it's all about that initial momentum. It's all about that initial flow. But we're seeing a couple of key scuffles right now between these players as they're just not able to find that right move of synchronization. But hey, with their hands all warmed up, I'm sure they will be able to produce a single moment of flair that could go a long way. Remember, because for Mumbai City FC, they've just played 16 games out of the 20 available. This is their 17th. So all they really need is 3 draws to secure their spot in the matchup. So one of those 3 draws, even if they secure it right here, they won't care as much as FC Goa will, because then a draw itself from both of these games is not enough for FC Goa. They only reach 34 points if they get draws in their last 2 matches, one of them being this right here, and it will mean that it comes down to goal difference, in which regard Bengaluru FC is just miles and miles ahead. It's a stat that looks very hard for FC Goa to recover, so they're going to have to just get them points.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, it's not going to be just a walk in the park for Mumbai City FC after this, because they do have to play Bengaluru FC as well, who are one of the teams chasing them down. So it's not going to be plain sailing. They definitely have to keep getting those wins. Of course, it's Odisha FC going up against Bengaluru FC as well. And I believe Bengaluru FC's final game will be, it is going to be the final game against Mumbai City. So it could come down to that. If Mumbai City FC don't get their act together and don't get those 3 points quick enough, it could potentially be a disaster for them. So they'll really want to get the job done as soon as they possibly can.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Potentially could end up meaning completely everything going wrong. But right now, trying to make everything go right, they've got the ball into the box but not able to find the same quick passes that either of them found in their individual matches. So instead, the keen defense of FC Goa coming up huge as they are able to deny it now, get the ball back and set up their own attack. FC Goa looking to move forward, just rotating the ball in every single way and showing us that similar playstyle for both of these teams. Possession control has always been their strong foot, but running down with Mbappe down the wing, trying to find some space, and not any found just yet, because both of these teams running mirror formations and almost mirror teams, just that De Bruyne versus Kante difference will mean that it comes down to just individual flair to find the difference.
And lots of corners early on for FC Goa, but not quite been able to do much with them. One corner, of course, they just ended up gifting a throw-in over there. Ruben Diaz, not the player you want in a very attractive shooting position. Now I'm sure the ball will go back to Hullet, and there it does. 3 or 4 players standing at the edge of the box, and now Cancelo gets involved. Mbappe in a bit of space over here for FC Goa, and a good turn, and yet another corner.
Yet another corner, Azim. Like you said, there's been a flurry of corners, so maybe it's time to show some of that preparation. Have you done the homework? And
oh no,
that's not the preparation. What did you see? What is that?
Maybe this is some kind of 4D chess that they're doing, where they give the throw back to Mumbai City FC and win it back really high up when they least expect it. Clearly did not work over there. But yeah, I think a bit wasteful, you would have to say, FC Goa, considering the amount of good positions they've been in, considering the amount of corners they've had. For them to have not really tested the keeper or got any really meaningful shot away, it will be annoying them. But they'll want to get going again. You can see for Mumbai City FC, they're very happy to just keep spamming those long-range shots. And this is a big opportunity with the Marseille Roulette, and potentially here a massive, massive goal for Mumbai City FC. and a hammer blow for FC Goa's top 4 chances.
And this makes everything really interesting if it's to finish as it is, because Mumbai City FC will secure their spot while FC Goa will be left with 32 points and relying really on that matchup that you mentioned that Bengaluru City has to play later coming on. So it's going to be very interesting to see how FC Goa are able to cope with this, but I will say Sharma was able to pull 2 goals back in his individual matchup. Afnan showed a keen defensive resilience in his own, so all they need now is at least 1 goal to secure a draw and put them in a better position going into their final matchup.
All right, now finally abandoning the tactic of immediately giving Mumbai City a throw in after a corner, trying to put that ball in. It's not quite happened for FC Goa, and particularly for Afnan on attack, it's not happened. And again, you can see it's been pretty much more than 2 hours of in-game time without FC Goa registering a shot on goal. And of course, that's got to be a concern for them. They have to try and switch things up a little bit. And we've seen Ashwin trying to just test FC Goa, tease them a little bit with those long-range shots, tempt them into coming out and pressing higher. And these were big opportunities. Here, I think if he'd taken the shot rather than the extra touch to go for the cutback, that may well have just flown in to the far post. And well, you could say a bit of fortune about how that ball initially fell to Mumbai City FC after the deflection. Not really much that FC Goa could do in terms of resetting their defense after the deflection happened. So they'll feel a little hard done by. But now, this is the crunch time for FC Goa. 45 in-game minutes. V Sharma did it once. Can he go out and do it again?
They're going to have to rely on their ability to find the synchronization within each other to create some sort of insane play, because Mumbai City FC, I'm sure they're just going to lay back. This is very important for them as well. Securing their spot with 3 games in hand will allow them to persevere to try and challenge SC East Bengal for that number 1 slot. And I think that's something that Mumbai City FC might not say they want, because of course they're focus on just securing top 4 for now. But as soon as top 4 is secured, that's where all of their attention will go to, so that they can carry that extra bit of momentum. They can rally forward knowing that they were the best team in the league stages by securing that number 1 slot. Because so far, SC East Bengal has rarely been challenged, but Mumbai City FC is the only team that has consistently denied them a win in their own game.
Yeah, absolutely. And there, FC Goa trying. Is that going to be KDB? Ooh! Lots of those shots being tried over there. Ashwin has had good success with them throughout the season, actually, even before the meta was really started to shift towards those long-range finesse shots. We've seen Ashwin taking those for ages and making it work. This is a good opportunity now for FC Goa. Need to make sure they don't trip over each other's feet while doing that. And the opportunity is gone as quick as it arrived for FC Goa over there. Still plenty of time. 60 minutes only on the clock right now, so pretty much 30 minutes for FC Goa to try and create something, try and rescue a draw, stop Mumbai City FC's progress a little bit as well. Although it looks like MCFC are in the mood here, but also in the mood to defend FC Goa. We'll see that out.
Yeah, both of those teams will definitely be feeling that vibe. A huge pass set up by FC Goa, finding R9 in a lot of space, but with not many options in the box, he has to go for the shot. Casillas guarding that near post very, very well, denies the opportunity and sets up yet another corner for FC Goa. This time, setting up the 1-2, getting a bit fortunate with that deflection, but Kante not able to control it in time, gives it away to Mumbai City FC, and with a deft flick from R9, they are on the counter now, looking to set up the nail in the coffin and finish off this match right here, right now.
Well, but FC Goa got back really well over there and almost gave the ball up again. And now it's going to get super nervy. FC Goa now for sure are going to change their formation around, change the personnel around as well. Or are they? If they manage to get a goal over here, they might persist with this current formation. So let's see how it all goes. For now, it is Mbappe on that left flank and Kante. Not the player you could really even consider taking a shot with, but do you even need to? You've got R9 in there. Again, the decision making, and I think Afnan looking at his teammates saying, bro, why you no pass? Aram se, there you go. That was the exact words. he's using, and having a look at the replay now of the opportunity in behind. Needed to be, well, possibly too direct in that moment over there. Needed a little bit of finesse in that moment. And now a little bit of a lecture to Tikka as well from Ashwin. Say, come on, just hold on to this, get the win, get the 3 points, and our job here is done.
All about that win right there, Azim. It's all about the 3 points. 32 points is what FC Goa and Mumbai City have right now on the leaderboard. But the victor, by getting those 35 points, will secure their spot in that top 4. Right now, Mumbai City FC in a key position to do just that. But chance after chance, corner after corner for FC Goa is ramping up that pressure. Looking for some sort of move this time. I thought they were not going to go for the short pass, but short pass it is. Just don't have any routines, I guess, for the direct box action. I feel like that is allowing Mumbai City FC to go get away with these continuous flurry of corners.
Yeah, and I think a lot of teams will need to take a leaf out of the SC's Bengal book.
Yeah.
Because those guys have worked on so many different routines, and now on the counter attack come Mumbai City FC. They've had a couple of chances to finish this game off. They will have another one over here. They played this well, but Pele getting back in there, just scuppering the progress a little bit. You can see the stamina on those FC Goa players very, very low right now because, of course, the constant pressure would definitely be on. Remains to be seen now whether Mumbai City FC can see this out, or FC Goa can give us a comeback yet again.
Most definitely. That comeback. At this point, it looks like the comeback will just be a draw. But a draw most definitely better than a loss in itself, because a loss will take away a lot of their destiny from their hands. They'll have to rely on Bengaluru fumbling too and not finding wins in all their remaining matchups. But that's not something you want to think about when you're trying to control your destiny. So FC Goa will look to do just that. But Mumbai City FC right now playing with our hearts as they come very close to giving away the ball in those key situations, but very close is all it was. Instead, a beautiful pass to set up the move. We've got the keeper coming forward, moved it on to Ronaldo, getting lucky with the deflection, and Gullit trying to get it into the back of the net, but Van der Sar will keep the hopes and dreams of FC Goa alive.
Well, it could have all been done over there. FC Goa literally living on the edge over here, and now will Mumbai City FC look to just see this out, I wonder, or are they going to keep attacking? They will keep attacking. That of course leaves FC Goa a chance, and it does look, I don't know, based on how the dynamic is on the bench, it does look that V Sharma is the player who looks more nervous, and Afnan is doing all the calming down, saying, okay, calm down, we got this, and the blue cursor over there I do think is Afnan. And he's looking to try and be that playmaker now, the guy who finds that pass. And this is a good pass now to V Sharma, needing that instinctive finishing. It's just not happening for the FC Goa player in red over there. And now again working, played in. This is the right ball to Pele, the shot taken, but Ruben Diaz there. And now Mumbai City FC surely will just hold on for dear life over here. Not going to try, I don't think, to get that counter-attack, or are they? Because we saw this in the last game with Chennai and FC trying to just sort of see it out and get that finishing goal. Actually cost them, and actually cost them all 3 points. But Mumbai City FC being the more sensible, the more pragmatic, and it will be a throw to them. So FC Goa now, their fate still in their own hands. But it's now an absolute do or die, almost a quarter-final for them, as they will go up against ATKMB in their last match.
Win secured for Mumbai City FC with this final run of play. With the ball in their hands, it just means they just get it. It's just a matter of 1-0 or 2-0, and 1-0 it is. Mumbai City FC with the win will now be the second team joining SC East Bengal in the top 4, and you can see the smiles as they breathe a sigh of relief. They've done it, they've secured their spot, and now they will look to challenge the other team that is guaranteed in the top 4 with them, try to secure that really that number 1 spot and fight for that. But pressure heaped on FC Goa because they're stuck at 32 points. They know they have one more match. If they're able to find the win in that, maybe they secure it, but they'll be hoping instead now the Bengaluru stumble in at least one of their remaining 3 matchups.
Yeah, of course, Bengaluru FC. Well, I mean, they still have to win all the matches. If Bengaluru FC fail to win today, it's all over. If they get a draw, it's still mathematically possible for them. They have to hope that FC Goa lose against ATKMB. So the minimum requirement for Bengaluru FC today is that draw, but a win will really ramp up that pressure, because of course it will be 28 games, 28 points with a game in hand. And it's going to be massively close going into the final couple of match days over here. But we did see chance after chance created for FC Goa, but the shots just not being taken really. And fortune favoring Mumbai City FC, you would have to see over here that little deflection. But of course, then the work, the Rabona fake, and of course the Rule and the finish from KDB was absolute class. And you could see it was Ashwin, I think, in that moment who got the goal, and a pivotal goal it did turn out to be.
Yeah, and at this point, for both of these teams, it is getting real tense. Mumbai City FC, I think, for them, it's going to be a big weight lifted, Azim. For FC Goa, though, I think they're going to have to really show their mettle in terms of composure. They're going to have to show their mettle in terms of staying strong and finding that crucial finishing touch, finding that crucial finishing matchup in their next matchup to come and find the win inherently. But after today, they're sure to feel very frustrated. And I think one point that you highlighted, Azim, is very important, which is the roles seem to have flipped. Afnan seems to be the one leading the charge. He's the one calming V Sharma down. V Sharma feeling a lot of pressure. So that's something as well. I want to see if V Sharma personally, individually is able to correct and find back his resilience that he showed throughout the first stage of the eISL.
Yeah, definitely. At the start of the tournament, he was that Mr. Dependable, you could say, the guy who always, particularly in the co-op games, managed to find that right pass and just handed it over to Afnan. And maybe, I think Afnan, we have mentioned, just like Tika, is a more natural finisher. You put him in a scoring position and he will 9 out of 10 times get at least the shot on target. But it didn't happen, unfortunately, today, as he seemed to be the playmaker and V Sharma not entirely confident. But let's have a look at the final scorecard. 3 very tight games, a 2-all draw where V Sharma staged a very good comeback, all in vain, however. Tika and Afnan was a 0-0 draw, very a war of attrition, you could say. And the final co-op game, a cautious KG 1-0 with FC Goa flattering to deceive, threatened at times that they would get that equalizer, but it never quite happened.
Yeah, and at this point, I think what's really important to know, I'm curious to find out who the hero of the match is, because it was a KG affair throughout. Ashwin, though, I assume, is going to be it. Yeah, he was able to secure the 2 goals in his individual, and I guess it is Tika who secured the co-op goal to find them the win. But Ashwin, he's sort of become Mr. Dependable now, in a way, the way he's able to consistently deliver the performances and the way he's grown. So a deserved hero of the match, I'd say.
Yeah, could easily have been V Sharma. I mean, if the results had gone the other way, would probably, even if the co-op had ended in a draw, I think V Sharma would just about have edged it, purely based on the magnitude of the comeback he managed to pull off with just those 2 goals in the space of 4 or 5 minutes was very impressive. But yeah, when it counted, unfortunately, not quite able to get that result. And I'm quite sure we're going to find out now what the Terra Virtua super moment of the match is. And there were a couple to choose from. So it will be interesting to see which one it actually ends up being. But
I assume
anyway,
it's
for the moment, yeah.
The co-op goal, I assume, since they got them to win, or maybe the second goal for Ashwin. Not many candidates, but very crucial candidates in their impact on the match.
Yeah, and there were a lot of key moments in this game. I think Afnan really didn't create much, and I think his lack of creativity in the game with Tika was really one of the I think the reasons why FC Goa could not manage to go and get the result that they were really looking for. But hey, sometimes that's how it goes for FC Goa. They'll know that they still mathematically have their destiny in their own hands. For all you know, they might not even need to win one of their games if teams around them do them a favor. So let's see how it all works out.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how it all works out, because the one thing that is guaranteed for us, with two teams secured in that top four, three teams trying to make it now, it's going to be an extremely exciting, dicey affair. So either ways, what we get as neutral observers is some amazing football, and that's exactly what we're here for.
Yeah, and it's going to get more amazing later on today as well. It's Bengaluru FC going up against Hyderabad FC, who, as of course you all know, Bengaluru FC, the one team outside of the top four that's still just about in with a shot. And I'm sure Northeast United FC will be kicking themselves, having lost that last game. Potentially could have overtaken FC Goa given this result. But now we finally do have the Teravacha super moment of the match. Let's find out which one it is. It does look like it is Tikka's winning goal. I really love the Rabona fake over here to create the space, and then the Roulé, and yeah.
Very well done. You can see just Ashwin being like, that's textbook, that's all we have to do, man. Just play it calm, simple, and we get the win. And they're able to do exactly that. That 1-0 win in co-op, crucial, and in this sense, because now we get to look at the leaderboard, see exactly what we've been talking about throughout this in terms of that narrative. It is 35 points secured for Mumbai City FC as they get onto that second slot. Maximum points for SC Bengal is 43, and if they are able to get that, they will put themselves in a comfortable spot to secure it. But the way it is right now, if Mumbai City win all of their three remaining matchups, they're guaranteed number one.
Yeah, and that's what they'll be looking for as well. Also, they do have to go up against Bengaluru FC, which is not as high stakes for Mumbai City anymore. But, well, let's head over to Ashwin and find out how he's been feeling after a very cagey and a nervy game overall. Ashwin got the 2-goal lead, managed to somehow throw it away. How are you feeling overall?
First of all, we have officially qualified for the playoffs, so that's a very happy feeling. Mathematically we are through, so that's one to watch out for. And with my individual game, I think I should have defended a bit better, or maybe gotten an extra goal to keep V Sharma under pressure. But kudos to him, he did very well. He came out with the press and he played properly and got the 2 goals. So I would give the credit to him in that game, because he was 2 goals down and he came on.
Yeah, and I really want to ask about that mathematical factor. We're just looking at the leaderboard. If you win all of your 3 remaining matchups, you're guaranteed number one. So is that in your mind at all to try and secure that spot?
Well, it's always a nice feeling to keep up the momentum going. In case if we win all the 3, yes, we will be first. Yeah, that's a very nice feeling. But again, we go game by game. I still cannot get over today's game because it was a very cagey encounter. So I just need time, and we'll focus on the next game, that is Jamshedpur. Yes.
Yeah, but of course, this result consigns FC Goa now to a very, very nervy game. Of course, they have to go and win their last game. And you guys will be facing up against Bengaluru FC, who are in the battle with Goa as well. So, can we expect any favors in that game, or is it just going to be you guys going to be playing 100%?
It's going to be a 100%, I can guarantee you that. Because every match day, Tikka is always cool. I am the one who takes pressure in. So it's very stressful the past 3-4 game days. And finally, we have made it to the playoffs. I just want to keep the momentum going so that once we head into the playoffs, we need to play the same way. So there is no room for all the stuffs.
Well, I certainly hope you guys are able to continue this momentum going forward. I'm sure getting that mathematical guarantee in terms of top 4 will help you out with the pressure, and we hope to see what we can see from Ashwin in the future without that pressure. Congratulations for today and for the hero of the match.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Cheers.
Well, Ashwin always under pressure for something or the other, but always a delight to chat with. He's one of the players who's always entertained us, not just on the pitch but also off it in our press conferences. And for those of you who would like entertainment in your life and in the metaverse, you can check out, of course, Terra Virtua. You can get yourself some gifts over here.
A chance to collect your favorite hero ISL moments. That's not a chance you most definitely want to miss. But of course, a big thank you to everyone who made it happen. The eISL, powered by Coca-Cola, with Hero as our associate sponsor, Nordwind Gaming as our esports partner, PlayStation as our platform partner, and Terra Virtua as our digital collectibles partner. And with that, folks, it is the end of this matchup today. But we've got another potential top 4 contender lined up in the next. So don't you go anywhere. We'll be back real quick.